On, guys. ChaseWins.com. Cheers. Good morning to everyone. It is early. It is just now right at 4:30 a.m. Friday morning, October the 30th, and it is time to once again get on some more free plays. I have so far this week given out 5 free plays, all for this weekend's action. First videos I did were on Tuesday. Gave out a selection for Friday night football action, as well as one for Saturday football action, both of those underdog plays. Then on Wednesday, did a video with 2 more free plays for Saturday college football action. Again, both of those being underdog plays. And then yesterday, last night, right around 10:30 or so, did another video for Saturday college football action. Yet again, another underdog play. So far this week, have given out 5 free plays in total for college football action for this weekend, just like we did last week. Last week, we gave out 7 free plays, all ahead of time, looking, towards the weekend. 6 of those plays were underdogs. All 6 of them not only won, but won outright. So 6-0 in the underdog picks, and then we did give out 1 favorite prediction for Sunday NFL. That one won as well. So 7-0. So guys, if you have not watched the videos that I have done thus far leading up to this weekend, like I said, there has been 3 videos so far posted this week. Make sure you click the link in the description of this video, and all 3 video links are there. And after you get done with this video, click on them, watch them. Yes, they're a little bit lengthy, but one thing about me versus the other videos that you'll waste your time watching here on YouTube is I actually give my reasons. I actually give a breakdown of why I like a team or don't like a team, why my reasonings for making the investment that I'm making. And I give you the reasons why it will cover. If it doesn't, why it won't. And if you look, I think it speaks for itself that this isn't just an educated guess. Here, I know what I'm talking about, more so than any other capper you're going to find on YouTube who goes out there and says, yeah, do this because the public's on this. We're all the public. Unless you are an odds maker, you work for and or own a sports book or casino, you're the public. I don't care if you're a sharp bettor or if you're a novice bettor. I don't care if you are what they call a syndicate. It's all bullshit. You are, no matter what, the public. I am the public. And I'm in the industry for a living. I do this for a living. I sell information for a living. I'm still the public. So when you hear somebody talk about the public's on here, so we're going to fade the public, guess what? Run. You hear the people talk about trap lines and trends. Run. They don't know what they're talking about. Let's get on another free underdog prediction before we do. Like I said, click the link in the description of this video. There's 3 links in total that will take you to all of them. Yes, they are a little lengthy, but we get into full detail as to why I like the games. All of them are underdogs, and why I think that not only they will cover, but that they will win outright. There are a couple of them where I am telling you to not only take the points, but to also take the money line, because I do truly believe, just like last week, they will win outright, and we can make a lot of money, and it's free money, guys. Do not miss out. Some of these will end up on my premium card. I have no doubt about it. As far as the promos and stuff we've got going on this weekend, if you just want something short term, if you're new, if you've never dealt with me before, or have never used my company, jump on a 3-day pass. Get Friday, Saturday, Sunday for $50. You'll get every daily top play and premium play that I release all weekend long. It does not include NASCAR. That is Patrick's. That is his baby, so you will have to purchase that separately. Or if you want to get something a little better bang for the buck, get a 7-day pass. It's only $100. That way you will see what I'm all about, and that will let you test the waters before you jump on something longer term. If you want to get on the best college basketball service you will ever spend money on, I usually charge $1,500 for a year. I made the commitment this year and this year only I was going to sell my full college basketball season at $1,000. And that right there is way too cheap But because of everything that's gone on this year, I made the commitment to do it. But until Sunday, and until Sunday only, just because we've only got about 3 weeks before the start of college basketball season, you can get an additional 50% off and get the entire season for $500. $499 will get you every premium and daily top play from day one tip-off all the way through March Madness and the National Championship. The only thing it does not include is games of the week, month, and year, which you can always purchase separately when those games are released. If you want to also get those, and you want to also get NASCAR, horse racing, international sports, every single thing the site releases, you can get on a 1-year all-access pass, which is my most sought-after package. Everybody that's ever used me, that's what they want to be on. Some people get a little nervous to spend more money up front, even though that is what will save you the most money and obviously make you the most money. For the first time ever, I am releasing a 30-day all-access pass. This is the only time that I have ever done this. Otherwise, you want to be on all access, you have to invest long-term for the year. People have been asking for over a year. Will you release something that allows us to dip our toes in the water? Try your all access pass. That way we can see it for ourselves. We know everything that there is to know about it. Then we can invest in the long term. This is going to be a pass that's going to run right at $799 going forward. But since it is the new release of it, it's the first time that I've ever done it, and the first week that it is available, you can get it for $499. That's going to give you every sport, every premium play, daily top play, game of the week, game of the month, game of the year, NASCAR, horse racing, international sports, every single thing that is released on ChaseWins.com for 30 days for $500. If you are an all access member, there has never been nor will ever be something that is released on my site that you do not have access to. All access members, no questions asked, get access to absolutely everything released in every sport, no matter what. There will never be anything additional you have to purchase for any reason. You can try it for 30 days. Then once you see how much money you make, you'll have enough money. As long as you're not betting $20 here and there, if you're really investing in sports, buy the 30-day pass, and you'll have enough money made in that 30 days to be able to purchase the entire 1-year all-access pass just off of profits alone. So go get on that. That's only available until Sunday before the price goes up to its normal price. So that's everything. Let's jump on a free play. I'm going to head on over to the NFL. Now, hold on one second. I do want to make sure that this line hasn't changed, and then I also want to look at one other thing, just an updated weather report, because I actually made this bet last night right before I went to bed. I was waiting on an email from somebody that gets me information from time to time when I need it. And I actually saw it come through right before I went to bed last night, so spent about an hour looking over that. And then actually made the wager before I caught a couple of hours of sleep. Let me just pull something up real quick like. All right, everything's looking good there. Okay, so the game, 4:05 Eastern Time, Sunday afternoon. We have the LA Chargers against the lonely Denver Broncos in Denver. Highest elevation in all of the NFL. Something that anybody that knows anything about the NFL or football in general should know. That is one of the toughest places to play, not for necessarily any other reason than its elevation. Teams go there, it doesn't take long. They have trouble breathing because of the high elevation. As the game goes on, fatigue sets in a lot quicker. And it's a lot more prevalent when you go to a place like that and, you struggle to breathe, especially when you have teams coming from right there at sea level or even below. So that, number one, always gives a slight edge to Denver when they're playing at home. Because even though, yes, that team, it's not like just because you live in Denver, you're necessarily immune to it. But one thing you are is your body adjusts. But you can go and you can ask anybody from Denver this. Let's say that you're from Denver, you've lived there all your life, but you leave for a week or or so, and you decide to go to Miami and you take a week's vacation. When you get back to Denver after that week, you notice it for the first day or so that, hey, you're not breathing like you were. That higher elevation is tougher to breathe. Now you talk about putting an athlete in there that has to go through what they have to go through anyway in that high elevation. Now, one thing, if you've ever known a professional ball player, or even somebody that's played Division I college football, offensive players and defensive players alike usually know how to control their breathing. That's why they can go out there and do the things that they do at that high elevation. But no matter the year, the circumstances, the weather, whatever, Denver always gets that slight advantage. So if, let's say that Denver should be favored against a team by 7, they'll always be favored by 8 or 9 just because of that elevation, which is always justified. Now, ever since Peyton Manning took them to the Super Bowl in 2016 and won against the Carolina Panthers, the Denver Broncos have all but just fallen apart. Each year, they always have a good defense. Their offense is back and forth. You have parts of the season where you think they might be a postseason team, and then parts of the season where you don't think they're going to win another game. Denver's at a crossroads in their franchise's history right now, where they have talent, they've spent money, they've done things that seem smart at times and seem asinine at others. And it's to the point of, is it working and just hasn't worked yet? Or was it terrible decisions that they're going to have to dig themselves out of a hole for 3 to 5 years to right all the wrongs? And I think it's the first one. They went out there and they took chances. You're not going to just replace a Peyton Manning. That's like where I agreed with Cam Newton going to the Patriots. I don't know that it was the best move for Cam, but it was most definitely a great move for the Patriots because Cam is talented. But you're not going to replace Tom Brady. And you're certain that the person that takes the position of Tom Brady is not going to come out there and go in and immediately be what Tom Brady was or anything close, because you're never going to be what Tom Brady was. But you take into consideration what they did, and at the time, people still thought that Denver had the best defense in the NFL that year. They really didn't. They had the best defense when playing at home because they always had that small upper hand because of the conditions. But on the road, I would say they were above average at best, probably 5th or 6th best in the league in defense. But you had Peyton Manning on offense that knew how to eat up clock, gain positive yardage, get first downs, and ultimately put points on the board. He could pick your defenses apart. That alone and the time he could take off the clock always made it seem that the defense was doing more than it was. Post Peyton Manning, the defense they had built ramped up and was essentially, for at least 2 of those years in the past 4, Denver has had a top 5 defense. They just haven't had an offense to go along with it. So now you go out there, they get Flacco, all these guys, they bring them in, and none of them really fit the Denver system. So Denver, basically shows their hand in saying, we don't have a system. We're creating a system. But now you have Jeff Driscoll in the mix. And he's what I consider a journeyman in the NFL. He is your Nick Foles. He is your Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is that guy. He is the person that goes in there. He gets to he sits on the bench for 2 or 3 years. He's on the verge of being cut again. He, is going to say, well, I'll ride it out 1 more year and then I'll retire because right now I'm collecting a paycheck for not doing anything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, injuries happen. The stars align, he gets to play, and they go out there and they have a great handful of games or a great end to the season or a great start to the season. Something happens, and it puts their name up there just long enough to either get a contract extension, get offered a little more money, or another team that's in desperate need of a quarterback picks them up. And the cycle starts all over again. Case in point, Nick Foles. Nick Foles was a nobody. He had been a nobody his whole career. He never really panned out. Then when he was with the Eagles at the start of 2017, 18, whichever one year they won the Super Bowl, he had made the announcement early in the season that this was going to be his last season. He was going to be retiring, and that he hoped that he would get the chance to play at least a handful of snaps or maybe a game if they locked in the postseason. And, it was a meaningless game. He would get to play before hanging his cleats up and his helmet up. What happens? Carson Wentz and that team, mainly I'm going to give the credit to people like Alshon Jeffrey. They go out there, they have a great season, they get themselves into the postseason before Wentz even goes down. When he goes down, they go to Nick Foles, the backup, and Nick Foles rides it from that point all the way to a Super Bowl. Again, mind you, it's one of those things where who's got a scouting report on Nick Foles? Nobody. So what does Nick Foles have to lose? He's already planned on retiring anyway. So he'll take the risk. He'll take the chances. Nobody knows how to stop him because they don't know him. And not only that, at that time, probably the best receiver in the game long term, Alshon Jeffrey, is there to pluck garbage out of thin air when he throws it, and he wins a Super Bowl. So he goes from retirement to being a starting quarterback again. Now look at him. He's with the Chicago Bears, and he's shitting the bed. Pretty much has shit the bed since he went and had a good half of a game against Atlanta. And he right now is still the starting quarterback of one of the, the most prominent football franchises in NFL history. Jeff Driscoll is this guy. He is a journeyman. He is somebody that will shit the bed or amaze you. He is Ryan Fitzpatrick. He is these guys that are essentially worthless until a few little spots in their career where they can do something. Where's the scouting report on him? They don't have it. The Chargers, if you really want to look at the grand scheme of things, they're an experimental team right now. They're young. They're dealing with new, inexperienced pieces. Case in point, like their quarterback. Taking a quarterback like him who does not have the experience, does not have the resume, and throwing him into a place like Denver, that's intimidating. It's not like he doesn't know what he's walking into, but you can know what you're walking into and still not know what you're walking into because you've never had to deal with it. So that right there gives a slight advantage to the Denver defense of being able to capitalize, blitz, and take care of the quarterback. What you're going to see in this game, I do believe, is where Denver's defense, I don't think is good enough to stop San Diego's offense just for, the pure talent level. I think because San Diego and the people that are not used to this are going to walk into Denver, they're going to start slow, the elements, the elevation. That's going to allow Denver to blitz probably at a rate of 4 times higher than they normally do and get to the quarterback early, shake him up, rattle him, get him kind of discombobulated. And that's going to allow Denver to force some mistakes, which allows them to not only stay in the game, that could allow them to take the lead and maybe create a little bit of separation. Now what you're going to have is Denver's offense who's going to go in, and I do think that for the most part, at least in the first half, I don't think they're going to walk all over the Chargers defense. They're not a bad defensive team. They're young. They're a little bit inexperienced. They're experimental right now, trying to figure out who they are and how they want to do things going forward. So I do think that in itself will allow Denver at home, being the conditions and the elevation, to score. But then this is where I see one of the kickers. Late in the game, I think that the Broncos are going to have the advantage. Again, elevation still comes into play. I think that you're going to have some experience come into play. That's where I think that from mid-third quarter on, Denver's going to have the upper hand. What you're going to have to hope for in this game is that they are either within a touchdown or potentially leading the game. Because if they're down by 3-4 touchdowns, you're not going to see the Denver Broncos go lay it all out on the line to try to get back in this game or even win it. But if this is a 1-possession or 2-possession game, you're going to see Denver play it till the end, which I think that it will be. If I had to make a prediction right now, I say the Chargers are up by 3, maybe 7 going into the third quarter. This thing could be tied up where that fatigue gets to LA a lot earlier than it does to Denver, and that allows them to come back and maybe take the lead. Take the lead, maybe force some mistakes, force a turnover, go up by a possession or 2. And then what you're going to see is this young team go out there and try to force plays, force action, force big yardage plays. It either works or it doesn't. But when you have stuff like that and it doesn't work, what tends to happen to those younger teams? What tends to happen to those overly fatigued and tired and worn out teams? Mistakes happen. Fumbles, interceptions, not paying attention to the game clock and getting careless penalties, a lot of pass interference calls, holding calls because they don't want to run after them, a lot of offsides. A lot of false starts, offside plays happen when you get a team that's overly fatigued. Both teams will get like that this game, but I think it happens 7 to 8 minutes earlier per the game clock to LA than it does to Denver. Now let's go back to the journeyman part of it. Jeff Driscoll's going to do one of two things this Sunday. He's either going to fall flat on his face and fail miserably, or he's going to go out there and have his game of the year. It's just the way the journeyman position works. When people get scared of taking the journeyman when they haven't seen him for a while, I see that as overwhelming value because they don't, even though you don't know what that quarterback is going to be made of and what he's going to be able to do, the same thing goes for the opposing defense. They can look at the team. They can have the scouting report on the team. They can know what to do as far as a team-wide game plan. But you don't know what that quarterback is going to do because the resume, the scouting report, the information, the sample size is not there. It's always overwhelming value when you get a quarterback like a Nick Foles or a Fitzpatrick or a Driscoll who has not been playing, so there is no true scouting report or sample size. When they go in, it's always overwhelming advantage to take them in a soft spot to come out there because what do they have to lose? What does Denver have to lose? Nothing. They'll try big plays. What does Driscoll have to lose? Nothing. He's going to go out there and try to give himself that name, that boost to be talked about on ESPN the next day. So he's going to, it looks like he's going to be the starter as Locke is recovering. But the way I see it, there's just, right now, line's still sitting at Denver +4. I actually saw 4.5 out there, which is just ridiculous. Truth be told, on any given week, Denver, the way they were pre-Driscoll, and the Chargers, the way they were, I would say that the Chargers would be 4-point favorites. Maybe even 6-point favorites. So now, let's say they're 4-point favorites, because I truly have the numbers at that. Let's go in there and take the journeyman status there, as well as the Chargers are a little more beat up than they were in previous weeks. Now let's go ahead and drop it down 2 points. Chargers are laying 2. Denver, whereas most teams get 3 points for home field, Denver gets 4 to 5. Right now, I'm only giving a point for home field just based on the circumstances of this year. I would still give Denver 3 points. Doing that, that gives me Denver -1. Denver minus a point when they're catching 4 against a game that I truly believe that nobody in the world thinks they're going to win. And I truly 100% believe that they can win. Not saying that they will, but if Driscoll just goes out there and has an average game, and I say average per what this season has brought for either team, if he can go out there and play just average, not make a ton of mistakes, not give up any interceptions that result in a pick 6 or anything like that, I do believe that he himself could keep this game within a touchdown. And I think where the key is going to lie is I believe in Denver's defense just a little bit more. Believe it or not, I do. And I do believe that the elements and the elevation and the fatigue that will hit LA earlier than it will hit Denver will be the deciding factor, allowing Denver to come back, make this a field goal game, if not win it outright. And mark my words here, if Denver has this game within a field goal going into the 4th, and they're willing to take a risky drive downfield and go fast, which will then wear that defense out even more instead of trying to burn time, and they can take the lead, I see Denver winning this game outright by more than a touchdown. I just don't see LA winning this game by more than a field goal unless Denver's defense just doesn't come to play. And if they don't come to play, the Chargers will blow them out of the water despite the elevation, despite the elements. We're not going to have cold weather. There's not going to be any snow. There's not going to be any rain. And I think I think at kickoff, it's going to be like 62 and not a cloud in the sky. You couldn't ask for anything better. That doesn't change the fatigue because of elevation. So if Denver plays smart, because I think they'll be prepared, and Driscoll can come out there and not make careless mistakes, and he really trusts in his receivers and his running backs, I think they can go into the fourth right here in this game by down no more than a field goal. One risk-taking drive could take the lead, wear that defense out even more, and you could see this team win outright by a touchdown plus. I like Denver in this game. I truly, truly believe that Denver should be laying a point in this spot, or it be dead even. Denver catching 3 is a gift. Denver catching 4 is a miraculous gift. I'll take it all day long. I actually made 2 investments on this game. I took the Broncos +4 as a normal premium play, and which is actually more than I would do for a free play like this, but I went ahead and did it because I took my normal free play investment, half of a normal premium play, and I laid it on the Broncos plus $1.45 on the money line. So there it is. I am taking the Denver Broncos. We've only lost one NFL underdog prediction, free play, premium, whatever, in the last 3 weeks. We don't plan on starting this week. So right now, as of this moment, I like that the best. Last night, we hit another underdog pick on our premium card, taking the Falcons +2.5. They won outright. So there's yet another one. That right there puts us at, 7 in the last week in the NFL, 7-0 on underdog plays. We're going to do it. We're going to make it 8-0 with this one right here. 9-0 if you're going to play both of them. I think Denver should be favored by a point. Nobody in the world will probably agree with me, but nobody believed that Washington would be able to beat Dallas outright. I said they would on video. Nobody liked the fact that I took the Steelers plus the points to take, and I told you that Tennessee would lose the game and Pittsburgh would win outright. They won it from start to finish. It was never in doubt. I like Denver in this game, despite what you may believe. I do believe that Denver, in this spot alone, is the team with the advantage. Should be favored by a point. We're catching 4. So I'm taking Denver. That's your free play. Go jump on one of those promos. Save yourself some money. Don't spend more money than you have to when you know you're going to sign up anyway. And also, click the link in the description of this video. There are 3 of them. 3 links. Click all 3 of them to go get an additional 5 underdog free plays for this weekend. It's free money, guys. Don't be stupid. Get on them. 7-0 last week on the free plays that I gave out from Tuesday through the weekend. 6 of those were underdogs. I love you guys. I'll see you back for this weekend. Stay tuned again. It's Friday morning now, going on 5 a.m. There will be at least one big top play this weekend. I'm hoping there could be potential for up to 3, but I'm really hoping that the one comes through for college football Saturday. If it does, I'm hoping to post that this evening or tonight sometime. So stay tuned because I will put it out on a video and let everybody know. Send out emails. It'll be on Twitter, all that stuff to give you the announcement that it's ready when I release it. Jump on it immediately, purchase the play. That way you can get on it before any line movement happens, before the day of the game, and that way you can get the best value. If you're on an all-access membership, you'll get it anyway, so go jump on one of those, and I'll see you back tomorrow for another big day of winning, another big day of profit, and more free play winners. Love you guys. See ya.